Is flying actually dangerous? It's a thought that crosses every passenger's mind at some point. The truth, though, is that flying is one of the safest ways to travel. In fact, you are far more likely to be injured in a car accident than in an airplane. Let's break it down. When you board a plane, you're stepping into a carefully designed, rigorously tested machine that's built to withstand all kinds of conditions. Think of it like a superhero in the sky. Every component from the engines to the wings is engineered with safety in mind. For instance, planes are designed to handle extreme weather, with wings that can flex and bend without breaking. That's right, those wings are built to stretch. And here's the surprising part. Pilots undergo extensive training, much like athletes preparing for the Olympics. They practice handling all sorts of scenarios, including emergency situations, in simulators that mimic real-life challenges. So when you're up in the air, you can rest assured that your pilot is not just qualified, but also incredibly well prepared. If you look at the data, commercial aviation accidents are extraordinarily rare. Statistically, flying is safer than riding a bus, taking a train, or even driving a car. Every year, millions of flights take off and land without any incidents. The aviation industry continually improves safety measures and technology, making flying even safer over time. In summary, while it's natural to feel a twinge of anxiety about flying, you can be confident that air travel is incredibly safe. Next time you're on board, remember you're in the hands of experts and a finely tuned machine. Many people think flying is risky, but here's the surprising part. Air travel is statistically safer than driving. In fact, for every mile traveled, you're far less likely to be in an accident when flying than when driving a car. Think about it this way. When you buckle into a seatbelt in a car, you're in control, but you also have to navigate traffic, road conditions, and other drivers. Now, imagine you're in an airplane. You're thousands of feet in the air, but here's where it gets interesting. Each flight is monitored by a highly trained crew and sophisticated technology. Pilots undergo rigorous training, including simulations for every possible emergency. That's not something we commonly think about when we hop into a car. And here's another thing. Airplanes are built to withstand incredible stress. They're tested for extreme conditions, much more than what any car would face. In fact, the aviation industry is incredibly meticulous about safety. Every aircraft must pass multiple inspections before it's allowed to take off. So when you're on a plane, remember that you're part of a system designed for safety. The odds of an accident are astoundingly low, making air travel one of the safest forms of transportation. Think of it as a giant, well-oiled machine that's all about getting you to your destination safely. Next time you feel a little anxious about flying, remind yourself, the statistics don't lie. You're much safer in the air than on the roads, and that's a comforting thought as you prepare for your next adventure. Many passengers don't realize just how many layers of safety keep flying so reliable. Think of it like a cake, where each layer is crucial. At the top, we have the pilots. They undergo extensive training, far beyond what most people imagine. This includes simulator sessions that mimic emergencies, so they can react swiftly and calmly under pressure. It's like a firefighter practicing for a blaze again and again until it becomes second nature. And here's the surprising part. Before pilots ever get into the cockpit, they spend years learning the ins and outs of aviation, from navigation to meteorology. It's not just about flying, it's about making decisions in complex situations. They're trained to handle anything that might come their way. But that's just one layer. Underneath it all lies a rigorous maintenance protocol for every aircraft. Planes undergo regular checks and inspections that are incredibly thorough. Imagine taking your car for a tune-up, but on a much larger scale. Each aircraft is inspected by certified mechanics, who check everything from the engines to the tiniest bolts. This happens before the plane even leaves the ground. In fact, many airlines have their own dedicated teams that monitor the aircraft's health continuously. If something isn't right, it gets fixed, no questions asked. This level of care means that flying is incredibly safe. Statistically, you are far more likely to have an accident driving to the airport than being in an airplane. So when you buckle your seatbelt, remember there's a whole team of experts behind the scenes, all dedicated to your safety. Flying isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about doing so with a peace of mind that's built on countless precautions and protocols. Curious about more aviation insights? Stick around. What's fascinating is how much technology is at work every time you fly, and many passengers don't realize just how advanced modern aircraft really are. Think of it like driving a car with a built-in GPS, cruise control, and lane-keeping assistance. Now imagine that same idea, but turbocharged for flying. Today's airplanes come equipped with sophisticated autopilot systems. This isn't just a fancy cruise control. It's like having a co-pilot who never gets tired. Autopilot can handle everything from maintaining altitude to navigating through complex flight paths, allowing the human pilots to focus on monitoring systems and making key decisions. Here's the surprising part. Autopilot doesn't just take over when the plane is in the air. It helps with takeoff and landing too, making those critical phases of flight far safer. And then there's navigation technology. Aircraft use systems like GPS, which you're probably familiar with from your own phone, to track their position with incredible accuracy. Planes are also equipped with weather radar, which helps pilots avoid turbulence and storms. It's like having a weather app on steroids, right in the cockpit. Now, some passengers might think that all this tech means a plane could fly itself without any human intervention. While the technology is incredibly advanced, it's designed to support and enhance a pilot's skills, not replace them. Pilots undergo extensive training to handle all situations, ensuring that human judgment is always part of the equation. So, the next time you're flying, remember that advanced technology is working tirelessly alongside skilled pilots to keep you safe. It's a remarkable partnership that makes flying one of the safest modes of travel available today. What do you think happens when a pilot steps into the cockpit? Many people picture them just flipping switches and pushing buttons, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. Pilots undergo extensive training to prepare for almost any scenario. And here's the surprising part, a lot of that training happens in simulators. Imagine learning to drive a car. You wouldn't just hop in and hit the road, right? You'd practice in a controlled environment first. Flight simulators are like high-tech video games, but they're way more realistic. These machines can recreate any situation a pilot might face, from turbulence to engine failure. Pilots spend hundreds of hours training in these simulators, learning how to respond calmly and effectively, even under pressure. And it doesn't stop there. Once they pass their simulator exams, they still need to fly with an instructor before they're fully certified. They learn how to handle different aircraft and weather conditions, ensuring they know the ins and outs of their specific plane. But here's an important detail most people overlook. Even after they're flying solo, pilots have to keep training. They undergo regular checks and recurrent training every 6 months to stay sharp. This ongoing education helps them adapt to new technology, regulations, and procedures. So the next time you buckle up for a flight, remember that pilots aren't just skilled at flying, they're experts in safety. They've been trained for nearly every scenario you could think of, and they're ready to handle whatever comes their way. If that's not reassuring, I don't know what is. Many passengers wonder just how safe flying really is. And here's the reassuring truth. Flying is incredibly safe, thanks to a mix of advanced technology, rigorous pilot training, and strict regulations. Think about the last time you got in your car. Every time you buckle your seatbelt, you trust that thousands of safety tests have gone into making that seatbelt work perfectly. The same kind of dedication goes into flying, but on an even grander scale. For example, commercial aircraft undergo thousands of hours of testing and maintenance before they ever carry a passenger. Every system is designed to work seamlessly, and if one system fails, there are always backups in place. It's like a 2-lane highway with multiple exits. If one route is blocked, you have plenty of alternatives. Then there's pilot training. Pilots go through extensive schooling and hands-on experience before they're even allowed to fly passengers. They train for years, practicing in simulators that mimic every possible scenario. It's like learning to drive in a video game where you can crash and learn without real-world consequences. And here's the surprising part. Pilots are trained to handle not just one emergency, but multiple ones all at once. On top of all that, aviation is heavily regulated. Authorities ensure that airlines adhere to strict safety standards, from the aircraft's design to the way flights are conducted. Think of it like a restaurant inspection that happens regularly. It's all about keeping everything up to code. So next time you board a plane, remember you're in incredibly good hands. The combination of technology, training, and regulations work together to make flying one of the safest ways to travel. If you found this interesting, you know what to do. Subscribe for more aviation insights.